Okay, guys. Yeah. So I hope you can see my screen, right? I'm sharing a PPT containing the introduction to the SOAR. Uh, can you confirm? Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can
Yes.
see introduction to SOAR.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you all. Yeah, let's start. Okay, right. Yeah, here you go. So, like, I'm giving a small introduction. What is exactly the SOAR and what is the capabilities of it, and it's very small introduction, and just and then we will go into the practicality. So, for example, if you are a SOC analyst and you are doing the lot of incident response in the daily life, so here, suppose for example, one of the most common correlations such are the notable, which the incident what it trigger is brute force attack. So for example, if the brute force attack is triggered in our environment in our company, so then as a SOC analyst, what are all the actions, what are all the investigations we do? Like we have to identify what is the the account it got affected, who is the victim of it, whether the user is a normal user, admin user, CEO, CFO, or a C-suite member. What is the source IP, whether it is internal or external. If it is external, then we have to take the risk score from the multiple threat intel websites like virus total, abuse ipdb, ibm exports, like that. And also we will also ask user whether user has done any recent password changes, like that. Sometimes we have to communicate with the user as well. And if the user confirmed the activity, if the user not responded to us, then either we have to call to him or we have to escalate that. Like we need to get the immediate response from him so that it will helpful in the investigation. And also if the endpoint got some kind of infection, if we have identified in an antivirus, immediately we have to isolate the endpoint. We have to do the forensic investigation. If required, we will disable the account for some time and expire the password. And also whatever the IOCs we have identified in this particular analysis, we will hunt these IOCs with the other systems in the environment. And if bad IPs or bad IOCs are present, then we are going to block it. And at the end, we will generate the investigation summary and we're going to close the ticket. So, for example, this is what every time the brute force attack is triggered, then this is the repetitive process every analyst have to do. Whether he is a senior or he is a fresher to the cybersecurity, he have to do all these steps to make sure the account is secured, the environment is secured. So if we have the SOAR in our environment, that could be any kind of any SOAR, no, any product. So if we have the SOAR, if you see on the screen, whatever the blue color you can see, right? The blue color, whatever I highlighted, those all actions can be automated automatically. Now the whichever I have made as a yellow color, those, like when with my experience with the multiple customer, they don't want it to be automated. They want something, either human interaction or the approval from the manager, something few actions they require. So only those are required, like for example forensic investigation. Still yet we are developing this SOAR mechanism. So still the forensic investigation is 100% not automated. At the same time, IP blocking, at the IP blocking level, there are the multiple questions are raising, whether when it is a dynamic IP, what is the how benefit that is a blocking one dynamic IP at the firewall. Because in a AWS or an Azure, when you are taking for the testing purpose, you will get one dynamic IP address will be assigned to you. And once the hacker or the attacker or a script kiddie do something, and immediately he will shut down the machine and he will bring it up the machine, the IP address will change. So, few questions except them, the remaining all are the blue color one, all actions can be automated. The same like that, Let's take two more examples. This time we will take the malware investigation. So here, uh, what the analyst have to do, the instant response steps. So here we have to get endpoint details, file enrichment. Now we have to get what is the file details, the hash value of it, SHA-256 value, and we have to verify that SHA-256 with the virus total, IBM X-Force, or any other threat intel source. And if the file got malicious, if we have identified with the risk score, then we will isolate the endpoint, depend upon the EDR solution. And then if required, then we have to do the forensic investigation. And also we also require to, if we find out any IOC from that, like the hash value, using that hash value, we will scan our entire environment. The other systems has this hash value or not, we will verify it. If the endpoint find the same hash, immediately we have to detonate all those systems as well. And then we will scan the IOC. If required, we will block that particular hash value or the IOC, and we're going to close the investigation. Let us see, if we have the SOAR in our environment, what are all the steps can be automated. Let's see here. Each and every step can be automated, and SOAR can the SOAR solution can perform all these actions. And let us understand with one more investigation, one more incident response steps, which is a phishing investigation, which is in 100. Every company, they want the phishing investigation to be automated, because the email is the basic communication channel for employees to employees or external members as well. So when the email is there, the phishing chances will be there. So the phishing email, the phishing investigation is the basic playbook when the SOAR has applied in any environment. Let us understand. So in the triaging phase, what the analysts have to do, analysts have to collect the email details like sender, receiver, also do the header analysis, email header analysis. And if there is any links are there, we have to identify what is the URL risk score. And also if we have any attachment present, then we have to identify whether the attachment, whether the attachment is a suspicious or not, or we have to do the sandboxing analysis on that particular attachment. Okay. So the Praveen is asking, do we take traffic from Splunk and do malware investigation by IBM X-Force? I didn't understand your question, Praveen. Could you please elaborate? Also, after some time, I will give you some time so that you can ask me question, more elaborately. So I will suggest just hold on for some time, then we will have some interaction session, interaction time. So I'm discussing about the phishing investigation. So extracting the indicator, sender IP address, URL, attachment, and if required, we have to do the detonating that particular file. If attachment is a malicious, then we have to detonate it. And we have to engage with the user, send an email to user that whether email was received, or not. How do you have any relation with the sender, or did you click any link? We will ask the few basic questions to user as well. And when do the investigation, we will verify if the URL is bad, and we will verify that URL with our firewall. If we're downloading any file the recently, then we will verify that hash value. We will threat hunt with that hash value entire environment. If the sender, the sender email address with the subject, we will verify in our environment this sender, the who is the attacker, how many emails he has sent. If he has sent multiple members the email, then we have to do this step, repetitive step for each and every user. And at the remediation, we will block the URL. If required, we will delete all those malicious emails from the inbox. Let us see, if we use the SOAR solution, then what are all the steps we can automate in in our environment. You can see now the phishing email investigation is 100% can be automated. But however, whenever there is a user engagement is there, or the IP block is required, in those scenarios, we will we will take the analyst approval, or we will bring up the analyst in to take the decision. Okay. Yep. So let us go further and let us understand what exactly the SOAR. If anybody doesn't know, the SOAR is nothing but security orchestration, automation, and response. So it is having the three major pillars. The first one is orchestration, like no, like we discussed earlier, the incident response steps. What is the step-by-step procedure it have to do, or if a source solution is there, what is the step-wise processor it has to follow? No, so that we call it as the orchestration. How we achieve the orchestration? By writing the playbooks or workflows. It will be do so, which is nothing but a logically organized plan of action, and it's a controlling procedure, controlling activating security product stack from central location. And second one is the automation. In this automation, when we are following this process in the particular steps, maybe there is a we need to run a script to block an IP address. We need to run one script to get no, or we send one API request to send the that hash value to the virus total and have to catch whatever the risk score of it. So automated scripts, we know whenever this automation steps are there, so that we call it as a automation. And machine execution of playbook tasks also fall under the automation. And third one is the response, the case management, which is nothing but the ticketing tool. So if you integrated the third party ticketing tool, then you will open the ticket, update the ticket, or closing the ticket, and if require analyzing and reporting things, and communication and collaboration, all these come under the response. So these are the three major pillars in a SOAR, and orchestration, automation, and response. And this is the basic architecture of the Cortex XSOAR. It contain automation orchestration, real-time collaboration, case management, and recently the Cortex XSOAR has added threat intel management. Like it automatically will get the indicator and it can do the few more actions. Like if you already working in any of the SIM, like Splunk, Curad, or any of the SIM vendors, you already know like how we will bring the IOCs and we will do the threat hunting. It's kind of same thing which is happening in a SOAR. It directly download the indicators through integration, and using that indicators it can run. Whenever there is one indicator we download, we can do the threat hunting. We can initiate the threat hunting using that indicators. That all job we can do from the SOAR itself. Both ways we can do. Okay, and let's go further. So this is the basic architecture. Now let us go and try to install the Cortex XSOAR. Okay, so before that, before we going into the installation phase, I would like to explain what are all the minimum requirements we have to follow. Okay, and all. Okay, so here in the minimum requirements, so the Cortex XSOAR, the software, is accepting these are the operating system. CentOS, which is a more than 7.0 or more than that, and Ubuntu either 18.04 or 20.04, and Red Hat Linux 7, 8, 8.1, 8.2, 8.3, 8.4, Oracle Linux 7.0 onwards, and Amazon Linux is a version 2 onwards. XOR can support. And when we come to the infrastructure wise, like what about the CPU, memory, and storage, in a production environment, I'm talking about the production environment here, you minimum require the 16 CPU cores, 32 GB RAM, and 1 TB SSD, and you require 3000 inputs, outputs, per second. Here, why we required, this much, like 16 CPU, 32 GB RAM is the XOR. When it is, when you bring the more and more incidents and the more playbooks are working on, it need to run maybe 100 scripts at a time. 100 API requests, it have to send it, it have to get it, it have to analyze the data. So it will take a lot of RAM, a lot of CPU power, and also if internet is required, it also consume the good bandwidth. So it required a dedicated server, and also minimum requirements of these infrastructure is required. And when you are working on the development environment, that also require 8 CPU, 16 GB RAM, and 500 GB SSD. So we are, yeah, but these, when when we want to run this kind of development environment, it will be a difficult for us economically as well. So that is the reason, for the learning perspective, okay, um, either you can use your laptop or you can take the AWS server. So I have earlier I have installed the Cortex XSOAR in my laptop. So, but laptops are difficult to work on, and so it will consume a lot of RAM and CPU in your laptop, and they will make the laptop to be hang in state. So that is the reason I suggest you take the AWS, and you take the Ubuntu server and or the Red Hat server for the learning purpose. It's a very easy to set up. That's why I suggest either of them. I will take Ubuntu always. And you in a AWS, you have to take minimum C5 2x large, because it contain 16 CPU, sorry, 8 CPU, 16 GB RAM. So for this, we require minimum 16 GB RAM. Even for the learning purpose, if we don't take, then no, the Cortex XSOAR is hang even in the AWS as well. So that is the reason. Like earlier, I have given the class, but that time this Cortex XSOAR got hanged. So the reason is, like later I understand, because it's consuming a lot of memory. That time the memory limit is very small, so that is the reason it is hanging in state. So this is the minimum require it contain. This C52 large contain the 8 CPU, 16 GB RAM. So this is sufficient enough to learn the Cortex XSOAR, install and working on it. So Ravi is asking a question. Usually Cortex XSOAR infra setup as a standalone or a cluster. Ravi, it depend upon the client to client. Like for example, um, the standalone is very easy. It's a single server, and we will give the 16 CPU, 32 GB RAM, and 1 TB SSD. That is the, if for example, if I worked for the 10 customers, around 7 customers are like this. Up to now I have worked, and the remaining 2 customer who using the MSSPs, like managed security services provider, where they have the multiple clients data they are bringing on and they are working on, they are using the cluster environment. We Cortex XSOAR have the they can use the Elasticsearch in a cluster environment. That's one. And another one is, few members are, if the client is very large and they need data in high availability, so that time they will go with the production and live availability, like they will have 2 servers or 3 servers for the high availability purpose. So it depends upon the client to client, but 70% of clients whatever I have worked up to now, those all are using the standalone. And also for the lab purpose, standalone is bit easy to install and start work on. So I choose standalone for this lab today. Okay. And let's install the Cortex XSOAR in our environment. So if you have the, if you have taken the AWS server, so I will go step by step slowly. So you can follow up. And if you have any question, you can ask me. So before I go into the installation phase, I will stop here. And if I check if you have any questions. Okay, so if there is no question, I feel it's very clear. It's very easy to understand. So let's go further. Okay. So first I need to take the one server in AWS environment. So yeah, this is the server I have already taken, but as for no, but even if anybody doesn't know how to take the server, so for them purpose, I am creating a new server. Okay. So this is my AWS instance. Now I am going to launch a new instance. So it's very easy. Click on the launch instance and launch instance. And then I can give the name to this server. So I am giving webinar on 28th December. I'll give some name and yeah, I'll go little down and you can see what is the what is the operating system you want. So I'm taking the Ubuntu for this. Yeah, when I click on the Ubuntu, you can see here there are the free tier available options are present. But the issue with that is when I take the free tier, it is not sufficient GB of RAM and CPU are not coming. So that is the reason what I will do. I will change that to C5 to large. This is what I required. Okay, maybe I have to select this one and I will go down and I have to add. I think yeah, this is the Ubuntu server 22 version SSD volume type and instance type. I think here I have to select that. Yeah, see C52X large. You can see here it contains the 8 virtual CPUs, 16 GB memory, and on-demand Linux pricing. It will cost you 0.34 USD per hour. So whenever you complete your lab, you just shut down this. If you want, you can, if you are not using for 3-4 days, I will suggest, even delete the volume as well so that it won't cost you much. Okay. Yeah, even if you use it for 10 hours, it will cost you only $3, but it's required. Otherwise, XOR is not working. So you take the C52X large and then go down. So when I want to log in into the Cortex XOR, sorry, AWS machine, we cannot log in into using the username and password. We have to create a key pair for this. So I'm creating a new key pair for today. So I'm creating a new key pair. So I need the RSA one. It will download the PEM key. So the key pair name I'm giving as any name you can give because I have multiple keys. So I don't want to confuse. So that is the reason I'm doing like this. And I'm creating a new key pair for this. It downloaded the PEM key for me here. And I will go little down. And here, yeah, you can do side by side, Praveen. If you have already AWS with you, you can do side by side, no problem. And regarding the network setting, so I am currently allowing HTTP, HTTPS traffic from anywhere. Uh, it's just for the test instance. It's not a production. For the testing purpose, I'm giving like that. And the configuration storage, I'm not changing anything. If you want, you can increase more storage, but it's a it's a cost. It will take you cost. So I'm just taking the 16 GB, and that's it. I'm simply launching this instance. Once that everything is completed, and I'm launching this instance. And while it is launching, here I have the PEM key. So I have to create the private key for that. It is a public key. I have to create the PP key, private key for that. So there is a putty gen will be there. Yeah, there is a putty generator will be there. Using the putty generator, we have to create one private key. So I will load the file. Okay, 1 minute. I will copy this PEM key into the folder where I have kept. Yeah, you can see my screen now. This is the PEM key. Like today one is the 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 webinar 20th December. So this is the one today I have downloaded. So using that, I have to load it into it. So load again. I have to check for all files, and then this is the PEM key I need to open. It say successfully imported the foreign key. And then you have to click on the save private key. It will ask you whether you want to use any passphrase to protect it. For now, I don't want to take any passphrase. I simply say no. No, sorry. It's again, it come like that. 1 minute. It's RSA, that's it, save private key. Oh, sorry, I have to click on yes. I'm sorry for that. Yeah. So I have to click on the webinar 28th December. And that's it. I will save as a PPK file. Where is it? Where it downloaded? I didn't get it. Okay, let me create another name. Webinar 1. Okay, yeah. Now it has downloaded. It has saved as a webinar. So, for example, if you still has a confusion, I will repeat the step again. So when I launched the instance, I have downloaded the PEM file. Okay, first you will get the PEM file. PEM file. Okay, and then you have to generate PPK file. How you gonna do is there is a putty gen. Now putty key generator. There is a putty key generator is there. So here now when you open it, you have to load the first. Now you have to load the PEM file. It won't show here, so you have to click on the all files. Then you can see here the below whatever the today I have downloaded is a webinar 28th December one. You have to open it, and then you have to simply click on the save private key. Once you click on it, it will ask you, are you sure you want to save this key without a passphrase to protect it? Actually, I need yes, but in confusion, I'm clicking continuously no, no, no. Okay, but you have to, without passphrase, I want to save it. So I have to simply say yes, and then we have to give a name to it. So I have given as a webinar. So I will give like a webinar 28th December. This is how a full name I will give. And once I save it, it's saved, clearly like a webinar 20th December like that. Once it has a saved now I can open the this server backend. So for this, either you can use the putty or you can use the mobile xterm. So I will use the mobile xterm. It's very easy. So I have to click on the SSH session, and we need the IP address of it. So I will go back to AWS and I will go to the EC2 instances. Yeah, in the EC2 instances, this is what today I know the server, it is up and running. So the IP address is 390.215.70. I will copy this IP address, and in the host I will give the IP address, and then we need to specify the username. In AWS, for the Ubuntu operating system, the default username is Ubuntu. So I have to specify the username as Ubuntu, and then I have to go to the advanced SSH settings, and we have saved the private key PPK file. So you have to use the PPK file here. So you have you have to load that PPK file. We have to open that. So this one is the PPK file, and open and simply say OK. Yeah, it is authenticating you with the PPK file and it is able to log in here. Okay, so I am inside the server. Okay, Praveen, what is the question? I didn't get you. Which login, Praveen?
Sir, from the AWS login, sir.
Oh, AWS login. Okay, it may take time. I will, in the recording, it will be there so that you can you follow later, or else
Okay.
after the class, I will help you. Okay.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Okay, man. Thank you very much. Now I'm able to log into the server. Now the first step. Now next step is in the PPT. We have to get the Cortex XSOAR into our system. No, we have to get it. So the first thing is you need the root permission to install the Cortex XSOAR on the system. So I will go back to my system. Currently, it is the Ubuntu user just now created. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to become a root. Normally, we should not become a root in a production server. You have to make whatever the user you are having, you make that user the root privilege. But for now, to saving some time purpose, what I'm going to do is I became a root. Yeah, now I became a root, and using the root, I will download the files and I will install the file very easily. So now I'll go back. Now you have to download the file, into the server directly into this demisto.sh. Okay. So for that we have to use wget command, which is nothing but to get that particular file and save as the demisto.sh. Okay. So this is the command. No, it will contain. No, I have to copy this and I'm pasting you here in the chat, guys, if you require. So if you go here and I will go to the temp directory, and here I will download that file. So okay, it have some issue. Let me see. Let me solve that issue. I think I have to put the quotation mark due to as I kept it in a PPT, it couldn't able to resolve it. So what I'm going to do is I'm using one notepad, a small any notepad. So here I am saving this, and then I'm giving the quotation here. So copy Clear? Yeah, see now it is downloading. So I will give you exact query what I have used. So the earlier one you can ignore, take the new one. Okay, using this you can download the file. It is downloaded and it is saved under the demisto.sh. Okay, so when I say list, now I want to see those file. You can see here. This is saved as the demisto.sh. And guys, whatever I have noted down all these steps. These all are present even in the Cortex XSOAR documentation itself. I will show you that. I will give you this documentation itself. The whatever in the documentation, I just kept step by step in PPT. That's it. Okay. So these all are about the system requirement, whatever we are doing, and then yeah, here you go. Yeah, if you see, we have to get the file, and then whatever we have to do, all those steps are already present here. I'm just sharing that documentation link itself. Okay, but however I already made a small note, so like what to do the step by step. Okay, so we have completed the second step. We have saved the file as the demisto.sh. Now I need to convert that demisto.sh into the executable file. So for that, the command is chmod plus x and demisto.sh. So this is the command I have to run. So here, clear. So ls, when I say ls, there is a demisto.sh is there. So I need to convert that into executable file. So the command is chmod plus x, and no, I have to paste that demisto.sh. So when I run the command, now it is able to, it is converted into an executable file. So this is the normal basic one. Okay, and this is the executable file. And how you run any shell script in a, it's a script. How you run the script? So that's the third one. You have to simply say sudo dot demisto.sh. However, currently I'm in root, so I need to put the sudo again. If you are a normal user, another user, and if if you need the admin root privilege, then you can use the sudo command. So it's very simple. So I have to say dot slash demisto.sh. Okay, and once you run it, so it will start installing the file into it. The first what it is gonna give us is end user license agreement. Okay, so it is asking us to see, what it is clearly telling is the product is subject to the Palo Alto Networks end user license agreement, and link, you have the link, and once you read the link and come here and click the Q, press the Q button when done. So I'm simply pressing the Q button here. Once that done, it will come and it will ask you this question: do you accept the terms of end user license agreement? You have to say yes here, and go down, and it will automatically download the remaining things. And the best thing with the MOBA Xterm is, you can see here the RAM performance, your CPU performance, every detail you will get in a MOBA Xterm. So that's why I prefer the MOBA X, for this region, for this reason, because I can see the system, how it is performing very easily. So it is doing its, it work, and it will ask us after few minutes. No, it will ask us few more information. What is the port we require? Whether you are going to use the Elasticsearch database. What is the admin username? What is the password of it? So these are the simple questions. it going to ask. Let's wait and see. Yeah, here you can see now at the downline it is asking what is the your server HTTPS port. The default is 443. Yes, I need the default port only. So I'm just simply pressing enter here, and then it is asking, is your Cortex XSOAR server is going to use the Elasticsearch? Like when you have the multi-tenancy, where you want to save data in a multiple places, so that time you can go with the Elasticsearch database instead of the default database. So currently I'm using the single XSOAR server, only one. So that is the reason I'm not using the Elasticsearch. I will go with the default database, which is called the Bolt database. Okay, Bolt DB. So default is no. So I'm simply pressing enter again one more time. Now again, it is asking what is the admin username you want. So I need admin only. If a security reason you want to change, you can change the admin, the username itself. And after, what is the password? So I will give my own password. And it is asking for the verify the password here. And I'm pressing enter. Yeah, and now this is the one more question it is going to ask you. Are these configurations are correct? No, whatever you have given, if these are correct or not. If you press no, again you have to type one more time. Okay, so now I'm saying yes, and simply press enter. So again it will it have to do so few more installations in this server. It is downloading the multiple files. Okay, so I took the I think I took the around 15-16 GB, but still that is not sufficient. You can see in that the here spaces, it's already more than 60% usage. Okay, fine, that's enough. Let's see here, and you can see an updated version gits were installed. Whether you want to start the server, I'm saying yes. So enter yes, and it is saying the Cortex XSOAR server is finished successfully. Okay, that's it. Now you can open the server. Okay, so sorry, I have to go to this browser. I need to copy the IP address again. Copy the IP address. Come here. Type HTTPS and IP address and 443. That's it. Now the XSOAR server is up. As the certificates are, we don't have the valid certification, so that is the reason it is showing it is a something error, but still it will work. You just click on the advanced, and then you have to proceed to that particular URL, and then the Cortex XSOAR server will be loaded and it will be visible to you. Yeah, here you go. So if this page is come to you, it is up. Now you have to log in using the username and password. Okay, yeah. So once it log in, it will ask you for the license file. I have requested the Cortex XSOAR team for the community license, but still I didn't get it. But still we can learn. Even without license, we have the free community edition automatically will be applied. Okay, so it will say missing file, but that's fine. We have still it have the a free community edition. Currently it's already applied, and then you have the multiple the integrations, marketplace, playbook is everything will be available, will be visible to you. So before we go further, do you have any questions, guys, up to now? I would like to give a small pause and I would like to ask you any questions. Okay, I feel it is clear, but if you have any question, just unmute yourself and ask anytime. Okay, let's go further. The installation has done, but once the installation is done, we have to do few post installation checks, make sure the installation is successful. For that, I have even you can find it on the documentation in the Cortex XSOAR documentation as well, but I have just made them in a one page. So the first command is whether you have to verify whether the Demisto service is running or not from the backend. So you have to go backend and you have to say system CTL status Demisto. Yeah, it's running. Okay, that's it. That's the first step. Of course, it is running as we have logged in into web UI. So it's running. And the second step, confirm whether you have the Docker is running or not. So the Cortex XSOAR use the Docker here because why it is using the Docker is whenever we are running any command or running uh, any testing command, it will create one container. In that container, it will run the commands. Suppose, for example, you are doing some testing or doing some sandboxing with one of the file. When you are doing in an entire XSOAR server, for example, if the file is a malicious one, if it is got executed, entire server is going to crash, right? That too, it is a cyber security analyzing thing. So that is the reason what Docker can do is Docker create one container, a special space in the server, and whenever we want to run a command, it will run that particular command. Even though if it is a file sandboxing, it is limited to that container. Suppose it is a malicious, it will contain only that container only. So what we can do, we can drop the container and we can use the still system. Yeah, Praveen is written isolated. Yes, exactly. That is the word. I didn't get it. Yeah, it's isolated environment. It will create a small isolated environment to testing it. Okay. And also there are the multiple users are there using the with the Docker, and you no need to install separately. Whenever you are installing the Cortex XSOAR, automatically it will download the Docker and it install for you. In such cases, for example, few clients will be there. They will have the air-gapped environment. What is mean by air-gapped environment? Their environment is not they don't have any internet connectivity. So that time there is a special process will be there, like you have to download the Cortex XSOAR and their all the related Docker files, everything, and then you have to install it separately. You have to install Docker separately. You have to install the Cortex XSOAR separately. There are the special cases are there. So currently we focus on a simple one. Now we have to verify whether the Docker is running or not. It's also the same command: system CTL status Docker. So let me run that. Yeah, here you go. You can see, yes, it is active and running. Okay. To come out, click on the Control C 2 times and you will be come out. And let's go further. And the third one, in a browser, HTTPS, and you have to go the IP and port. It will, if it is working, it will open for you. We already done that, and it is, you can see it is running fine. The third step is also completed. And in the fourth command onwards, we have to run a few more commands in the playground. So let's do that. Okay. So in a Cortex XSOAR server, okay, so you can get, when you know the left side ribbon is there, left side ribbon, there you can see the playground. You can click here, or second, even you can directly run any command at the bottom. You can see the bottom also, it is the same. Now first, now I am working, I will open the playground. Yeah, see, this is the playground. Now what I have to run the command is docker images. So let's do that. Sorry. So backslash docker images. See the third one, it will automatically will show you, no need to write entire command, and enter it, and it will show you few of the images whatever it has pulled from the internet. So that's it. So it is working fine as well. And what is the another command? We have to run a small script like /py, which is a Python script, demisto.results hello world. So it should show us as a hello world. Let us see whether it is working exactly as expected or not. Py, the command is, it's a script, and the script is, this is the script I want to run. Okay, it is not taking the script actually. Okay, let me write it. Demisto.results hello world. Hello. Okay, there is a escape backslash is required. Let me see. Okay. Let me do one thing. I will copy this and write it in a notepad. Now this is better. Yeah, that's it. And enter. When I say hello world, it have to give the result as hello world. As a simple Python output, it should give. Okay, it is asking you how to give a license file. So what I will do, I have a small sample license earlier, the older one. I have older one, so let me do that. So what I will do is, sorry. Okay, yeah. So it was already, it's a older one actually. It's a older one. So after the old one, what it is going to do, it is come as a free edition. Okay, that's it. So actually, this is not a working one because you can see it contain. It's a just a small community edition, and it's a free edition for the customer, and it contain only 166 automations you can do. That's it. It's a trial license. It's a just community license. Let's go and let me run the command again. I have copied in a notepad. I will copy it, and now this time I will run directly here, and it will automatically ask you whether you want it. We want to execute this command in a playground. So now once we have given the command, it is showing it is a hello world. Okay, so that's it. So yeah, and the next one is we have to do another, still we have to do few more checklist. For that, we have to integrate our Cortex XSOAR with the URL scan.io, IP info, fish tank, openfish, and rasterize. And also, after that, we have to run the below commands in a Cortex XSOAR. So today I will stop at this point, but I need you to collect. I will show you this slide. I need you to go into each and every server, uh, especially IP info, URL scan.io, virus total. These three, get the API keys, community API keys. You will get it as a free of cost. You will get them today, and tomorrow we will apply those API keys in your Cortex XSOAR, and we will and we will do more integration and we will work on it. So today I will stop here and I will ask if you have any questions, guys.
Hello.
Yeah, hi Chandan. Yeah.
Where this video I will get it? The recorded one.
The record one, the recording I will update in my LinkedIn page itself.
With all files, that license file also.
This is a sample license. No, I will. You just message me there. I will. I will give you this sample license.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, right.
How do we get the API that you just mentioned? I don't know if you can go over.
Yeah, it's very easy. Like for example, sample. I'll show you. You will go to the virus total website. If you register in it, sign up free of cost, and here you see the API. If you click on it, it will give you a community edition API. There we can we can use here. Once you get it, it automatically will get the API here, and from there you can copy that. It's a simple string and paste it in the Cortex XSOAR. I'll show you that before we leave. So whatever the we want to install, I went into the settings page, and then we have the integrations. Here we have the instances. For example, virus total. It is already default. It has installed. So what I am going to do, I have to click on the add instance, the right side, and then it will ask you the API key. For example, I have my own API key. I am pasting that API key here. And once you pasted that and you click on the test here, test button. So it should say it is a success. Yeah, that means that your API key is working. Okay. And then you can simply save and exit, and then you can later you can start playing with this. So we need only three of them. One is the virus total, URL scan.io, and IP info.io.
Thank you.
Okay, these are the three websites: login, sign up, and get the APIs.
Sir, can I share my screen? I'm confused to download, sir.
No problem. Yeah, I will give you. You are the host now. Now, can you see, like, you can share your screen now? For now, I'm pausing the recording.